Yeah, I'm digging them. These are cool. Leica Trinovid 10x42s, infield review, Nut Fancy. Model number 40319, dudes. We bought these for review. That way we're not beholden to anyone. Not a distributor, not the manufacturer, not Leica. The question is, are they worth it? I don't do too many optics reviews, just a couple. This will be one of them. And it does answer some requests that I've had from TMPers. Review more binoculars. I hear you, brother. Now, there was a pair I reviewed about 10 years ago in TMP. They are with me on the motorcycle. I'm gonna show you them. I still highly recommend them. Kind of the theme for this infield review is, are these worth more than those for the average binocular user? That's the theme. Should you basically spend double to get these over the other pair that I will show you? Now, I've been doing TMP work today, working my butt off. Reviews, stuff, scoping out some places, using these, by the way, to do that. And above the tree line here has been a family of mountain goats. Okay, and they're not where they used to be. They're now in the high rocky area. You won't be able to see them on camera. But I was just checking them out here with the Leicas, and sure enough, I count 1, 2, 3, maybe more. I'm not sure if that's one there. What I'll do right now is roll in what I will call TMP Bino Vision 3000, so you can enjoy what I'm seeing in my glass. Oh, there it is, Bino Vision. Amazing color definition, amazing clarity, amazing field of view out of the Leicas. Check that out, Bino Vision. Yeah, we're kidding around here in this infield review, dudes. Yeah, having fun. But let's get down to brass tacks as we jump into just a little bit of philosophy of use. Again, about 10 years ago, I reviewed a pair of binos. You'll see them here in a sec. I went through a lot of technical details in that video, probably more than I should have. I did it by the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Go look at that video. I may put a card in there. All that still plays. What I found out by rolling all that technical data in that binocular review is it just glazes over people. They don't get it. They don't remember that stuff. So I'm not doing it in this video. If you want to know the really technical details, go watch that video or just Google. It's around everywhere. What people want to know about a pair of binoculars, are they really super clear? Do they have light gathering capability? Are they rugged and durable? Those are the top 3 things that people want out of their binoculars. And now, as we consider the Leica Trinovid 10x42s, also available in 8 power, I will attempt to answer those questions. I've used these for about a year now. And now we'll just flex, like I said, a little bit in philosophy of use. What do we use them for in TMP? Primarily for shooting, track and hits on steel. Binoculars are a lot easier to get into play than other optics. Like if I use a spotting scope, and we have several, one of them is a Swarovski. It's outstanding, but it takes time to set up. And it's very particular. You have to have a solid mount. I mean, it's really great clarity, a lot more powerful than these 10 powers for sure, but it's really not the best optic for fast run and gun situations, or where we don't want to spend time setting it up. Maybe we're sighting in like 10 rifles, and these will do. For that philosophy of use, I really need some glass that is excellent, because I have to see maybe 22 caliber hits on paper at 100 yards. Now, a really good scope, you'll be able to see that, but a medium quality scope, and for that matter, a medium quality pair of binoculars, you won't be able to see that. The Leicas, I have no problem checking that out. And I find that when you get into the more expensive glass, you get that really crisp definition. And what you need to ask yourself is, do you need that? I would probably say that most of y'all don't. That you can do with actually middle, I wouldn't say middle of the road, but maybe middle to high quality optics. Again, like I'm going to show you here in a minute. But that's one thing we use these for, is track and hits on paper, targeting. Maybe I'm doing a 750 yard shoot and your spotter is in the glass. So a lot of times he'll have his own rifle looking through an optic, and he can see through that, but many times it's a binocular. And we've been using these along with some other ones too that we're testing. Another thing I use them for is what I've been doing here, and that's just kind of watching wildlife. I like doing that. I think it's fun. Watching the mountain goats up here is amazing. it would be an afternoon for you to bring the family up to where I'm at, set out your picnic chairs, get out your binoculars, and just watch the mountain goats. It's fun. It's special. It really is. And before the video ends, I'll do a panoramic shot of where I'm at. That's another thing you can use them for. Now, you have a tactical use, and I am kind of a tactical channel, more of a geared venture channel, but a lot of people know me for my tactical stuff. So observation of bad guys, especially during low light, light limited situations, I think that's where it would come, a pair of binos like this would come into play. Maybe a team pair of binos where you're doing a lot of observation, a lot of reconnaissance. And we also use them in the desert for that. So as we're scoping out a place to shoot, for instance, we will use the binoculars and scope and make sure the area is completely clear. Granted, we're shooting up against a mountain, but maybe there's someone that we can't see, so we use these, safety checking. In the ocean, when I do Zodiac operations, we use binoculars for whale watching, wildlife watching, watching the otters. Very cool, sightseeing on the Golden Gate, out in the bay, really a lot of cool stuff. Now, these are not stabilized binoculars, so 10 powers are of limited use, to be honest to you guys, on a boat. You need to really be on the land to make them work. You want something lower powered. 7x50s are really popular, 8 powers are more popular. I always gravitate towards 10 powers for an all-around power magnification level because that's what I like. Especially since I'm not just doing that. Again, my philosophies of use are varied. You know, I'll go to the ocean one week and the next week these are back in the desert tracking hits where the 10 power is mandatory. Philosophy of use though, watching sporting games, stargazing, all those events are actually better the higher quality glass and the higher quality coatings that your binoculars have. And I'll say these Leicas measure up, I think, against a lot of other competition. For sure, there's a lot of great competition, amazing competition from all types of manufacturers. But I just grabbed these pair because I think it's representative of the higher end glass at about a $750 price point. Yeah, they're not cheap. They're not cheap. Now let's look at the details of this. And you may have seen my sticker on this. For me, I have a philosophy called firepower versus mobility. Now, when we talk about, we're still talking philosophy here, and a lot of guys love this about the channel because it's not just a review of the specifications, which you can get on the manufacturer's website, by the way, like that. No, we're talking philosophy. When we talk about firepower versus mobility for binoculars, we're talking about clarity and low light performance at the lightest weight we can get. Now, when we talk about a 10 power pair of binoculars, I see about 25 ounce binos delivering the performance that I myself am happy with. Again, the competition I'm going to show you does that. These are even better than the competition by some margin. I can't really quantify it. These are not the lightest weight though. They're 28 ounces. So bringing them up on the motorcycle today was not awesome. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but I wouldn't normally pack these on a motorcycle. They're too heavy. I would carry some super compact 10 power binos is what I would do. But my battery's flashing, so I better tear through this thing pretty quick, dudes. No, I wouldn't do that. I would do something compact. So they're not super lightweight, but they do deliver. Let me run through some specifications super quick before my battery dies. Standard. 15.5 millimeters of eye relief, 4.2 millimeter exit pupil, twilight factor 20.5. The 8x42 Leica Trinovids, their model number 40318, 17 millimeters of eye relief, 18.3 twilight, so better light performance, which is to be expected at 8 power. The field of view on the Leica Trinovid 8x42s is 372 at 1,000 yards. On these, the 10x42s, it's 339 feet at 1,000 yards, if you care. All the models are waterproof to 13 feet. They have 6-element lenses, and they have what's called HDC multi-coating. Their dimensions is 4.6 by 5.5 by 2.6. They feature what Leica says is about 90% light transmission. They're not the absolute top of the line. They're not. I think the Trinovid are kind of the middle of the line. I think if you go to the Ultravid in the Leica lineup, you're gonna be paying a lot more, but you'll get even better performance. But again, we're gonna consider I think a much more affordable pair of binoculars, and again, ask the question, are these better? So SAWC, they're a little bit heavier, but they are, in my estimation, delivering better firepower, better clarity. Back to philosophy of use. What I say about scopes, what I say about binoculars and spotting scopes for that matter, is if you're going to spend a lot of time in them, watching wildlife, for instance, observing bad guys, doing a team lookout, reconnaissance, then buy really good glass. It will minimize your eye fatigue, it'll minimize headaches, you'll be grateful you got some really high quality lenses and coatings. That's what I've always said. However, if you're just going to be coming up for like 30 seconds or so, 15 seconds, checking stuff out, I wouldn't spend the money. There you go. Which takes us to the competitive offering, which I've been mentioning. Nikon Monarch. They're in their 7th gen, I think. These are camouflage versions. These are great binoculars. They're lighter, 25 ounce. Actually, these are 24 ounces. They are 10 by 42s, a little bit smaller. They'll focus to 8 foot, these suckers. 351 feet at 1,000 yards. So they have a little bit more field of view. 4.2 exit pupil, 16.4 eye relief on these ones. Now, I have been spending some time today watching these mountain goats between these two pair. Which one did I like the most? These. By a small margin. These are still excellent. They are. But when it comes to the absolute resolution to be able to pick out those mountain goats, which, by the way, it's a hazy day, these win by a small margin. If I'm going to spend all day looking through the binoculars, I'm saying all day, let's say just a couple hours, I would choose these. Or even something even better, Swarovskis or some sorry, not Leicas, but Zeiss. Again, there's a ton of brands that are outstanding, for sure. Lots of great binoculars out there, if you're willing to pay. Zeiss and Razor. I think they make some really good binoculars too. Tons of brands, Google them. If you have the money, knock yourself out, go for it. These are the ones that I reviewed about a decade ago, an earlier version, of course, and Nikon keeps improving them. They're phase corrected, and they use what they call extra low dispersion glass, or ED glass, high resolution contrast and colors, and they're lighter. They're just not totally perfect when it comes to doing something like this. From my own experience, really like good. Right now. But these are heavier, 4 ounces heavier, and they're about double the price. So again, I'll go back to what I said. Is it really worth it? Don't get me wrong, I love the Leica Trinovid, I really do. They are amazing. It is on the firepower side of the optical equation. A day like today, a lot of time in the binos, I prefer this. But honestly, I still say after a decade, for most of you guys, you would be happy saving $400+ and just getting the latest generation of Nikon Monarchs. They're ATB binoculars. They are outstanding. Lighter weight too, and they still will deliver the optical performance I think most y'all need. There you go. In-field review, super quick. I love these binos, I really do. But for y'all, I think this is still the answer. See you later.